Yo, what's going on, y'all? Carrie Blue, I am the founder of the Empire State Music and Arts Festival and one of the founders of the Free World Music Fest. We've had an amazing couple of weeks, and this week we're doing the Empire State. Shout out to everybody that has performed, everybody that's gotten an interview. All these artists are amazing. You can go back and look at their performances online if you go to freeworldfest.com. All the links are there. The schedule for the rest of the week is there. It's going to be an amazing time. This is the process where we get really close and we talk to the artists behind some of the best independent music in New York City. I'm so thankful to have today an amazing artist, somebody I consider a brother, somebody I consider a mentor in a way. I'm waiting on him to come in now. Let's see if we can get him in here. I'm just so thankful to have this brother in my life. I really came in contact with him when he did a play, a one-man play, which I don't normally like one-man plays at all, but he did a one-man play, and this one-man play was called What Should Be the Fear. And honestly, it really changed my perspective on him as a person as well, and I'm so thankful to have him coming in today. Would y'all please give it up for Mr. Precious Gorgeous? What up, brother?
What's up, bro?
I'm chilling, man. How are you?
Man, I just had some, I was late because I decided last minute to go brush my teeth because I just had a nice healthy lunch of kale, spinach, and ribs.
Yeah, you ain't want that. You ain't want that in the camera. I understand that, bro.
Yeah.
How's the day, man? What's going on? What you got going on right now?
Oh man, I did a little improv show with my homegirl Shakotha. She's an improviser I know in the city. I'm doing a little improv show with some improvisers I know, and then just working on figuring stuff out. I'm like doing a lot of teaching this spring,
Nice.
so I'm just trying to figure all that out.
And what do you teach?
Well, now it turns out a bunch of stuff. Tonight I'm doing an improv class I'm doing an improv class for the New York Acting Center, I believe. What's the name of this thing? I'm doing an improv class tonight for the New York Acting Center, I believe that's what it's called. And I teach clown and improv at Brooklyn College, and now apparently I also am co-teaching a devising class.
What's that?
Just basically helping actors to come up with make their own work. New York Drama Center. That's what I'm doing the class for tonight. I'm doing improv class with them tonight. Yeah, I'm teaching. I teach this semester. I'm teaching improv and 2 improv classes and a devising class at Brooklyn College. So it's just like how to help actors to come up with their own material, make their own stuff.
Amazing, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I know you as I initially became close to you after watching your work in What Should Be the Fear. And I think it's when I realized that you actually are who you actually are the person that you displayed in that show. Because there were times where I think we spoke before, you know, you're very to yourself at times, unless you're, speaking on your opinion, but you're pretty reserved guy. Like when you're around people, unless you like really know, or there's like a hip hop conversation, like you're not like the boisterous, look at me. And a lot of that I got from your acting. And I wonder how much of your acting plays a role in who you are as a musical artist, and like what is the role that it plays?
I feel it plays a large part, and especially because like even a lot of times I find myself writing raps, and I'm writing raps in character. I'm writing my raps as like somebody's talking to me or I'm talking to somebody, or so I write raps in character. And I also believe that I'm drawing all from the same place, which is like whatever place inside me has my beliefs and my sense of humor and my sense of rhythm, my aesthetic, all those drawing from the same place. So the more I um, am accessing those parts of myself, the more I'm using them by making art, the easier it is to get to them.
Mm.
So my acting is always affecting my writing, and just yeah, it's my sense of. I think acting is a lot about a sense of storytelling, and I put that in my music a lot. And also, I believe that a lot of rapping and making songs is about taste and taste levels. So I'm always like watching films and watching interviews and watching shows and listening to music. And I believe a lot of that, like knowing how to pick a good beat, knowing what raps work and don't work, is the same part of you that has to know what's a good script and what isn't. You know.
Mm.
So I bet there's other ways too, but I can't think. I can't think about.
Let me. So when you are starting your process, you, I know, as a prolific writer, in your own right, just even listening to the work that you do and the complex structures and ways that you develop music. Like I've heard you send me boom, ba, ba, choo, 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 cha, in the voice memo, and I'm like, what the fuck is it? But you clearly have this orchestra of sound in your head, that you are able to communicate with other people. What's it like taking what's in your head and putting it into the world, in a way that like you're in a way that like is clearly what you wanted? Is that hard for you? What's that process like of taking what's in your head and actually putting it into the world? And that could be music, that could be acting, a play. Like, what is that like for you?
I would say of all the things that I do, the thing that takes the most out of me is writing songs, especially when I do the boom, da, da, like what you're talking about. Like when that's when I like will use like a loop, some sort of looping app, and like build my songs from scratch and compose my own song. That to me, it feels like doing open chest surgery on myself. Like I cut my own chest open and pull my heart out every time. Because it's so hard to like, what feeling do I have? What is the melody and rhythm and tempo of that exact feeling? And then write a full song to that. It it's like, but then once that to me feels like the hardest part. And then um the other part is like finding musicians. Luckily I found a band of guys that I love, my homies that I call the Blues and Bloom. Alex Wernquist, Dave Coit, Wes Harper. Those are the guys who did my last record. And even my homie Noah Likas, who did my first record that nobody ever heard, that I didn't release, What Should Be the Fear. I mean, he helped me put those songs together that you heard me doing in my one-man show. And but that once I am able to find musicians that I think not only are a high caliber of musician, because I'm very snobby, and so I want to play with really good people, but then finding those people, and then finding those people that also want to play with me, that's like one in a million. So then once I find those people, then that's all the hardest part done, and then just like them actually going, okay, let's do it this way, let's try it this way, and then me speaking up and going, okay, I think I actually want more of this. Let's push it here. Let's make it softer. Let's make it brighter. Let's make it louder. Let's make it slower. Let's make it, whatever it is, darker. Let's make it heavier. Whatever that is. Or I was wrong. Let's actually do this version of it. Like that part is actually really, really fun. Like, man, I love being in the studio and like making a song come together. I don't ever leave. I don't ever need to leave. I love it. But like actually writing the song, actually going like digging to the center of your chest and going, what is the real feeling? What is the real feeling here? And how do I make it really fun to listen to?
Mm.
That part is, I love that part too, but that part takes a lot out of me. I write a song one day, it took me like 4 to 6 hours. I'm done for the day. I can't do nothing else.
Mm.
It's over.
Understand. What is, out of the processes that you just spoke about, though you love one more than the other, which do you think is more important?
Oh man, I think songs are everything. Everything is songs to me. Um, and that's hooks, that's raps, but I think songs are, what do they call that? Gestalt. anything that's if anything is more than the sum of its parts, it's the parts of a song. A song is definitely about being more than the sum of its parts. Like, which is why I don't understand it when folks just focus on the rhymes or just focus on the hook. It's really how everything communicates with each other. You can have a tight hook, but if that verse doesn't pull against that hook, so that when that hook arrives, it's like a sun breaking through the clouds. If those two things aren't working together, then it kind of doesn't matter. Like, and then the beat that goes with it has to be right. And then even if the beat is right, that may not be the best version of the beat. Maybe it needs to go faster. Maybe the sound that you had is actually too much and needs to come out only come in on the hook, whatever it is. But like, it's like working on a car, I guess. And you're trying to make it go as fast as possible and also look as fly as possible, but also run really well so you know it's reliable. It's not going to run out on you when you not only go a long distance but also go really fast, or determining what it's built for. Like, I love it, man. I don't think it's really, I think, hard. It's so weird that it's such emotional work and psychological energy to make something that's only going to last 3 or 4 minutes. But man, when you nail it and you know that thing's going to go, woo, that feels good, man.
In your catalog, which song do you think you nailed in all the aspects that you can see? Nothing is perfect, obviously, because I know that we have spoken about before in the past where you listen to something and you're like, oh, I could have did that, or oh, I could have did that. But what song do you think you have nailed sonically, like the way you want it to hear it back? You nailed that. And which song have you nailed emotionally the most? Right? Because I think those are two different things. I think they can go hand in hand, and I think in great songs they go hand in hand. But I think sometimes every song isn't great that we write, even the ones that we put out. Not every song is great that we put out, because I think that it may teeter more towards the sonic or more towards the emotional. Which songs do you think you've nailed sonically, like knew it, but maybe the emotion wasn't there all the way? And what song have you nailed emotionally that maybe sonically it could have been a little bit different?
Okay, I got to compromise because I want to say songs I know you haven't heard. You heard one of them actually. Emotionally, I want to say, but I mean, that song "Scout" that opens my show is crazy because the Boy Scouts are getting sued right now for sexual abuse. God bless those people. But like that song "Scout," the Boy, I'm talking about the Boy Scouts right now, which I was never in. But that song "Scout" that opens my one-man show. I don't know if you remember it. What is it? I never made the Scouts. You were supposed to be my scout. We almost made it out. Are you gonna leave me now? You know, that song really, when I found, because I was waiting a long time. The song's about my friend Tommy, who passed away, who's the reason I did my bike tour that show was about. I was trying to find an angle to write that song from for a long time, and it's a tough balance because you don't want to make a song that's obviously my homie gone. I miss you, Kato. You know, I didn't want to do like an obvious elegy song. I wanted it to have a little bit of energy and a little bit of and tell more of a story and have a little bit of a sense of humor that Tommy had. So when I found that Scout, when it was like when the emotion was right, I was like, ooh, that's that. Oh, it felt good to find that one. And sonically, damn, I really want to go with I'm gonna go with two. There's a song you haven't heard called TMS Theme. You haven't heard it, but it's gonna be on my next album. And I was really, man, I maybe we'll talk about it then. But of the songs you have heard, I think one of the songs I'm most proud of is I Wonder What It Costs, of Trying to Get My Life Together.
Love that song.
Those guys really found that kind of 70s soul thing that those guys found from my demo. It really fits because it feels like disco and danceable, but that song to me is it works because I'm talking about like a lot of political ideas that I would normally get into a big argument about. But when they come through that song, people don't want to argue with me. It's not that they agree with me, but they at least don't want to argue. And
Right.
and you know, it's the dream I always had, which is like to take a protest song or a political song, but still let it be a song, and let it also live in emotion as much as it's living in sort of like social commentary.
Mm. What do
So
you
that
think?
song sounds good.
What do you think?
I lost you for a second. Go ahead.
Create. Can you hear?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. Sorry, somebody was calling me. Niggas be hitting me while I'm doing the interviews. I'm like, yo, what are you doing, bro? Stop. Decline. Um, how do you think you've been able to, with the political climate, with the world where it is, where are you drawing from right now? Because a lot of people want to force us to be positive, um, so much so that the positivity becomes toxic, and you're not allowed to just be or feel those negative feelings, which I think can really taint the positive feelings when you're not allowed to feel that negative, with those negative feelings, or even acknowledge that they exist. And because the world is where it is, how have you balanced writing what's real um, while also making it fun to listen to? Because your last project, um, made of all Teddy Riley beats, which is the
Trip.
jam. Like, you know what I mean? Trip is like, it's the jam. Like, it's a party album, but you deal with some really heavy things on there. How have you balanced the positive and negative energy in the creation of these songs so that they're digestible, but you're also saying something that's really real?
Um, it's funny because I mean, I there's a couple. I call it like, well, there's two questions you asked me. One, I feel the opposite. I feel like I'm supposed to like be like a really good black person and have like the right like black ideals and not take any not let any white person off the hook and just be really militant all the time. And I feel very guilty because I know that in some ways that's needed, and I don't always have that in me. Um, I'm a little bit too skeptical and thinking and asking too many different questions for that. But I know there's people who need to be straight ahead and firm, and I feel bad sometimes that I'm not one of them. I feel guilty. Um, so I recently met with an artist named, I believe his name is Derek Adams. He's a painter. Um, and he paints these beautiful pictures of just black people relaxing.
Mm.
And it's so revolutionary just because it's just painting just straight up just black people relaxing. And he said to me, he's like, man, as much even though we're going through these times, black people are not a monolith, and we need black artists who are representing every spectrum of our experience.
Mm.
So I'm very thankful for the people who are representing the struggle and the pain and the oppression and the unfairness and the injustice that we're constantly facing. I'm trying to come to terms with the fact that, at least not at all times, that doesn't seem to be my job. That doesn't seem to be my position. In every army, there's a lot of roles, generals and lieutenants and snipers and ballistics and blah, blah. I think I'm a chaplain. I think that's the role I'm meant to play most of the time. You know what I mean? Um, uh, and um, and that's just what it is. I'm trying to make my peace with that and accept that and not think bad of myself about it. And then the other thing is I call it the MLK approach or the Outcast approach, meaning like I think Outcasts were the greatest at it. So Miss Jackson, bombs over Baghdad, Aquemini, Black Ice. They always when they made a song, man, you gonna jam. It don't matter Rosa Parks. It don't matter what they're talking about. They're gonna find the funkiest angle, and they're still gonna say what they have to say, but they're not gonna let you escape it, or even let you sit inside of it like, yeah, I'm smart. No, you're gonna dance though, you know. And I try to find that approach. I try to not to say you have to dance to it for it to be music, but I just try to. It does need to. Uh, I don't know what another word, but tickle you in that way, in the way that music is supposed to. So I'm always about trying, what is the musical shape of this idea? I'm always trying to find that. Like, if this idea is a good one, it has a shape, and that shape should be the music that this goes to, I think.
Nice.
Um,
One of the things that I honestly love about you, and it was so apparent when you performed last week for the McCarran Park Gathering, or the week before, I think week before.
yeah.
I got the opportunity to see people react to you for the first time, which is not something I get a lot. You know what I mean? A lot of our shows are people we fuck with, and they're dark, so you can't really see unless they're like moving. You can't really see, but like seeing you not only perform but celebrate in the rain at the program that we were at was an amazing thing, because I also got people. I got the reaction of the people immediately. It wasn't like I had to go back and look at videos, or because I wasn't running anything at that point. I was just able to enjoy it. Who do you think you get that from? That ability to let go and just connect and be in the moment of your performance, which is something that I love about your performance. Who do you think you soaked that up from, or what do you think you soaked that up from? How are you able to lose yourself in those moments enough to get people to, or lose yourself in that moment to act as a mirror so people see themselves in you, which is, I think, the most ultimate like connection that you can have with an audience member. Like, how do you lose yourself in those moments?
Man, that wow, man. I just want to. Those are a lot of kind words you threw in there with that, and thank you so much.
You're so awkward when you get a compliment.
I think I mean the most simplest answer, I think, is like, because I grew up, I spent most of my life doing improv. And also most of my life making music and performing music. So I sort of, and I spent the last 7 years hosting karaoke. So like, there's a lot of that built in for me. But I think that helps me. Improv helps me very much, and clown for sure helps me to be like very in the moment and very in my body. But also, when I was a kid, when I was about 9 years old, 10 years old, 8, 9, 10, around there, my grandmother lived here in East New York, over in Starite City, and I would go to her house every day after school, and every couple of months they would do like a dance or a ball in their cafeteria or whatever, for all these old people that live in this building. And I remember I would go to these things, and I don't know what it was, but I just walk in there and the music would be on, and I would just start dancing. I would just start dancing, bro, and it would just be like, I didn't know it at the time. It definitely, I was showing off, but I was a kid, and it was like more that like I could see and feel that I was making the room happier. Like I was like adding light or something to the room, and I would just, I don't know, I didn't think about it again till like a decade passed, and then I started doing it at like parties, and I was like, what is this? And I didn't remember until I got older, but I used to do that. I used to go to parties at or just like any parties. I would just have it in me to just like go and dance like that. And I don't know what that comes from, but I know that that appeared to me at a young age to just do that. I don't even think I'm a particularly good dancer or anything, but I just have it in me to just, I just get go into a whirl. I'm just in this like, I'm just fun just grabs me, and I'm just ready to have fun at the drop of a dime. And then, so I think I realized I realized pretty early that that was like one of the skills that I have. And I think I've just devoted the last like 12, 15 years of my life to pushing that and making that grow so I could do it at will.
Mm.
And that's what I mean when I say I think I'm a chaplain. I think that is, if nothing else, that's really my skill that's really, if any talent I have, that is, I have that. Like God gave me something where I can just dance and play. I'm usually ready to on a dime. Yeah, I can't take any credit for that. It's just something that was, I know that was in me when I was very young.
Mm. Where do you think where do you think Ralph begins and ends, and where do you think Precious Gorgeous begins and ends when it comes to how you function with others, how you move through your day? Um, what's the distinction between the two?
Well, you're talking to a guy from about 7 years old until about 19, 20 years old. I thought I was going to draw comic books for a living. All I did was read superhero comics all my life. That's all I did, right? So Shakota's here. Shakota's my homie. You should follow her. She's a great actress
Let's
and
go there.
acting teacher and improviser. Yeah, I read comic books all my life, and so this dichotomy of like not even like the secret identity, but that you have this heightened version of yourself. Like Batman is this heightened version of Bruce Wayne. Superman is a heightened version of Clark Kent, where it's like them at their most confident and them really wow, I'm learning this. Really sort of sometimes even the good you can do is stifled by the fact that it's sort of impolite or improper or too much for people to deal with. But when you're wearing that costume, you can be this best version of yourself, and you don't have to worry about being polite or stepping on anyone's toes or doing too much or whatever it is. You can just be this version of yourself that is pure light and helpfulness, or pure evil, depending on what you want to do. But and that's, I think, what Precious Gorgeous is. When I'm Precious Gorgeous, I can be this version of myself that just wants to dance and giggle and sing and shout and be like joyful, unfettered in a way that if I'm just walking in a supermarket, I can't really do. You know what I mean? And I think that's what Precious Gorgeous is. But Precious Gorgeous doesn't feel different for me. It doesn't feel like an alter ego or a different identity. I feel like Precious Gorgeous all the time because it's just a name that I give to the side of me that wants to dance and be playful. It's not really a thing I have to become. It's just when it's just the name I give to when I'm doing that thing.
Mm-hmm. What do you do in those moments where you don't feel playful, where you don't feel like dancing, where you're not Precious Gorgeous?
That's
How
almost
do you
never.
create?
That's almost never. I
Really?
almost always, yeah. I almost always feel that way. And I mean, even like my mom passed away about what, a year and a half, 2.5 years ago, 2.5 years ago, and it would be disrespectful if you could see how much me and my sisters were laughing that whole day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not obviously we were crying as well, but we're all very funny. My sisters are way funnier than me, and we all like to laugh, and my whole family is like that. We're just very playful, and we love to laugh and giggle and play and be silly. And my mom had a great laugh, and she was very funny in her own way. Like, so, um, I don't know. It's a curse in some ways because I also don't really know how to take care of myself as an adult. But I also like I just have that in me. I'm almost always ready to play. Um, it's almost never the case that I don't want to be silly or laugh or dance or play. I got not that I don't have bad days or bad moods or get angry. My girlfriend would probably tell you a different thing because if I do get upset, I am upset. But I can also compartmentalize and go play somewhere else if I'm upset over here. I have it in me, which is like why I'm a probably person when I get the opportunity in my career to like make music, I'll probably be in the studio making music a long time because I just always want to.
Got you. We got to wrap it up soon, but I got a couple more questions for you. I
I'm
think
sorry to be so long-winded. Sorry.
no, it's perfect, dude. Like these are, I think that's why I made them 40 minutes long because artists don't get this chance, especially independent artists. They don't get this chance to really, you know, let you behind the curtain. It's always just their hustle on Instagram, or it's always their hustle in the performance. It's never who these people are, and that's what I, really want to get to
Awesome,
the
dude.
root of.
And these are great
Um,
questions too. Thank you so much.
Of course, dude. I've been asking this question of a lot of the artists. What line have you torn yourself apart for the most
Oh,
out
rap
of your
line?
entire catalog? What line have you torn to make it to make it what it is, to allow it to be what it is when you're picking the right words that just describe everything that you were saying? What line have you had to work the hardest to write in your entire catalog?
I don't. Let me think, because I have a line that is in my mind, but I don't know if it's actually the right one. I have. That's not the best example. I know. Okay, there's a song. The first song I wrote. It's going to be on my new album. It's a little older, but my new album is maybe a year and a half away. But it's a song on there called Tension that I know that whole song was the first time I really committed to rewriting. And not just rewriting usually means for me, I write the verse and I'm happy with it. I usually am happy with my first verse. I have been historically. I'm usually happy with the first verse. And I just go back and, okay, let me actually change this word. Okay, I just go back and change those things. But going back and just rewriting the whole thing from scratch, that I almost never did. And now I accept it as just like, yeah, that's part of what I do. If this flow is not 100% the right flow, scrap it. I got to start all over. So the song that taught me that was I had this song called Tension. And that I really, and the format is really funky. But so I know I rewrote and rewrote and rewrote and rewrote. And then there's one line in there that ends the song that I think is one of my best raps. I said, this really tells, this is like straight from my heart, like how I really feel about life. The line goes what is it? Something. They always, yeah. The line is niggas always talking about at the same time. How you do two things at the same time? Life tears you apart if you're a great mind. It's really from your heart. It should break mine. Tension. And that last line, if it's really from your heart, it should break mine. That line to me, that to me says everything about how I feel about art and even how I feel about life. Like one of the lines that there's a line from one of my favorite songwriters, Neil Young. The song is called "Only Love Can Break Your Heart," and that's how I feel about art. If it's not love, if it's not real love, if it doesn't break your heart, it's not real. And when I say break your heart, I mean like it could be anything, like something that makes you laugh so hard that you can't breathe. That's breaking your heart. You know what I mean? Like, or you're still thinking about the song or the line or the joke the next week. So yeah, that one, like talking about at the same time, how you do two things at the same time. Life tears you apart if you're a great mind. It's really from your heart. It should break mine. Tension. Yeah, that's one that I love.
I love that.
Yeah.
My last question for you before we wrap it up is: what do you want? What's your goal with music? What do you want to obtain? Is it recognition? Is it just therapy? Is it just the ability to create and hone a skill so that you consistently get better? What do you want?
I think what I've discovered is like I think I'm a music man. And by that I mean there's certain artists in hip hop that I think really all they want is to have their own studio and make songs and be able to like be like, hey, Terrace Martin, come play the saxophone on this. You know, blah blah. Somebody come drum on this. Somebody come. Oh, I can't. I need help on the. And you just have your own little bunker, and you just make a music, and you can just have you can afford to have your homies come in and work with you on things. Like Tom Petty is a music man. Mac Miller was a music man. Tyler Creator is a music man. Um, Terrace Martin. Um, you know, just D'Angelo. These are music men. You know what I mean? And I feel like I bet Lauren Hill is a music woman. Just the people who just, and I want to do that and then just go out and tour once or twice a year. That's all. And it doesn't have to be a huge tour. Just whoever wants to see me, and as long as it can pay my rent and it can pay me to be able to continue to make music on the level I want to make it. That's all. I just want to be a music man, and I just want to be able to make songs for the rest, for as long as I want to make songs, and go out and perform, you know, for a month, twice a year, you know what I mean, and do little spot dates in between there. But yeah, that's all I want to do. I just want to
I
be a
dig that.
music man.
Well, bro, people are gonna watch this again and again. It'll be up on our Instagram, so please tell them what you have currently out. Tell them what you have coming up, and remind them of anything else that you want to use to connect with other people.
Word. The most important thing is for all this talking I've been doing, I've only been releasing music for like the last year. I released 3 albums in the last year. I released one called Trying to Get My Live Together. Hashtag Music Man. I released one called Trying to Get My Live Together that I recorded live with my homies Alex, David, and Wes. I have another album that's all covers, a covers record of like Fleetwood Mac and like Madonna. It's like very funky covers of those songs, and you can find that. Also, it's called Everyone Dies from a Bullet. That's on my website. And my newest record, which is all original songs, the iconic Teddy Riley beats, is my favorite producer. And those are all on my website, Precious Gorgeous Ralph, RALF, PreciousGorgeousRalph.com. I performed a lot of those songs in my set for Free World Music Festival, which is such a dope outlet. And yeah, also my Instagram at PressGorgeRalph, PrecGorgralf, at PressGorgeRalph. Check out. I have like over 90 freestyles. I still got some more to do on my Instagram, called hashtag 16, the number 16, TO21, the number 100, 16 to 100. Real quick, you can find a bunch of my freestyles on there. I have a lot of freestyles, and that's it. PreciousGorgeousRalph.com, the 16100. Real quick, that's where you can find a lot of my music. And I also A&R. So if anybody's looking for an A&R people to help them with their music, I A&R for myself and Mandela Skia, and I'm trying to A&R for more people, help you pick beats, help you put songs,
Myself,
albums together.
he
For
helps me
Kenny
out
Boone
too.
as well, he's
Yeah.
my honor, but he allows me to help him with his music. Yeah, I'm just trying to work on music and just trying to spread love. It's the
That's
Brooklyn
what's
way.
up, man. Bro, I appreciate you for joining me, man. I love you. Make sure
Whatever
y'all
Coach
check
Smith,
out
that's
Precious Gorgeous right now. PreciousGorgeRalph.com. Hit him on his Instagram, Facebook. Look at the videos. Look at the freestyles. Listen to his album. He's an amazing, amazing artist, bro.
hey,
Much love to you,
man.
brother. Love you
Love.
too, man. Peace.
All right. Peace.
Yo, make sure that you tune in for the rest of the week. We got amazing artists coming every single day. freeworldfest.com. You can see the entire schedule for the rest of the week. Talk to y'all soon. Peace.